We have officially sprung forward and it is time for spring decorating. I've got some DIYs, Dollar Tree, you are going to love. I'm Jamie, the crafty DIY guy. Welcome back to my channel. All right, everyone, and for project number one, we're going to be using some nautical rope that I purchased at Dollar Tree. I made sure that I got this thinner one versus the kind of thicker one. I have these candlesticks that I've had at Dollar Tree. I have seen these come back. I've seen a lot of people use these as vases also. I also decided to grab some of these starfish kind of accents that you can get. These came from Dollar Tree, and then of course these laser kind of cutouts. These are like an MDF wood. These are kind of pre-painted, and I really liked those, and I wanted to use the anchor and that ship's wheel. So first we're going to go ahead and take our rope, and we are going to be covering up this entire candle stand base. Now I went with this color because I did like the way the rope kind of blended with the actual candlestick itself. If you wanted to use like a white nautical rope, for example, you may want to consider painting these. But I liked the way that the gold tone and the rope just really kind of plays off of each other with this. And if you end up, missing an area or your rope's not quite as tight, then that's not a bad thing at all. So you're going to go ahead and rope this or wrap this rope all the way to the top here. And then when you do get to this area where you see that the rope is starting to kind of be a little tougher, go ahead and cut that at a slight angle. That's what I like to do. And then I kind of fill up that little corner there with some hot glue. Then I'm going to grab my little spatula tool here that I grabbed from Dollar Tree. And we're just going to kind of tuck that rope in and then add a little bit more glue on top of that. And then just kind of smooth that out. And now you're going to take this other one and repeat this times 2. So you're going to have some really cool candle stands. Now you can take the nautical rope and just kind of burn it off. This helps kind of get rid of some of the frays that some of the Dollar Tree rope has. Those smaller bundles or that thinner bundle certainly does seem to be less frayy, if that's even a word, from compared to some of the other ones. But they all have to be done. Now we're going to go ahead and unnet our starfish here. And the starfish proved to be a little challenging getting out of this little net. I guess they were, this is kind of what a fishing net does. I don't know. But I'm going to take out 2 of these starfish, and we're just going to go ahead and set those aside for right now. That extra one I can use for another project at some point. Now I'm going to take my hot glue, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue a decent sized glob there in the middle that our starfish can kind of cover, and we're going to just hold that in place until that does start to adhere. There's a little bit of a kind of like a little channel on either side of the starfish, so having some extra glue there is certainly going to help. Now for these laser cuts, I'm going to go ahead and just glue these directly into the center. I kind of like the idea of this anchor being just slightly kind of off center here. And again, we're just going to take some glue, put a small little dot there because it does not take much to hold these up there at all. And then you're going to repeat it with the second one, adding the ship wheel. And when you have this all done and all dry, these are absolutely beautiful. I love the way these turned out. I just added some floating candles until I can get some proper size pillar candles. Love, love, love this. Now for this next DIY, we are going to take one of these plant hangers that I picked up from Dollar Tree. And this was in kind of where the garden and the pots and different things are. Then I also did grab this blue pot. This blue pot I wanted to be able to use for this particular DIY. You know, blue is my favorite. I also have these beads that I have reused and reused. There's some gook from some previous DIYs on there. And we're going to just add some beads to this rope and make this just a little bit more fun. Now I'm going to go ahead and just put these on a paper towel to kind of help prevent some of the rolling, although one kind of escaped from me there. And we are going to start to, well, first of all, I've got to make sure that I've got the right size. I noticed that there's a couple in there that are the wrong size. So I may have to end up shortening this. Now, I'm going to add some hot glue to the end of the ropes, so that will make it kind of, kind of stiff. It kind of makes it almost like threading a needle. With any kind of rope that's a little bit thicker like this, you may have to just kind of twist it a little bit just to make sure. You could certainly use tape if you want to. I'm fine with the hot glue, and my fingers are pretty much numb from years of crafting. So the hot glue, although it does burn me a little bit, sometimes it does. This was actually pretty decent and wasn't so bad. So you're going to go ahead and just kind of continue to push this through. And yes, I did use my teeth off camera there. And I went ahead and just got that first one on. And then I did add a third bead to this. And if you, for me, I ended up actually removing beads from this because I thought I had enough to do 3 beads on each thread, but I didn't. So you're going to see as I go through here that I do kind of end up doing 3 beads on each one, at least initially. And then when I start to get towards the end of it, I realized that I need to switch this up and actually only have 2 beads per. Now, I would recommend if you're going to do something like this that you get a hanger or something in your craft space, because it is kind of hard, quite honestly, to even out these these ropes to make sure that your plant is kind of hanging centered. And that was definitely a little bit of a challenge for me. And I ended up kind of shortening these and taking the beads all the way up to that first kind of knot that you see there. And you also want to make sure that you're kind of laying this out properly so you have the right beads that go with kind of the right parts of the pot. And that will make more sense when you see kind of how I put these on the pot. Now, I did take a Sharpie. I have a fine point Sharpie here. And I am just going to mark the insides of my pot. I started with the outside here and decided that it was a little easier to kind of line them up. Now, I have a wood burning tool here, and I use a lot of my wood burning tools for plastic. And if you do this, make sure that you're in a ventilated area. I did open the window in the craft room. It's a beautiful day actually here in Atlanta when I'm doing this. It was about 60 degrees today, 60, I think it was like 62 degrees. And I love a little bit of a chill, and springtime is definitely coming. Super, super excited about that. If you are excited about spring, let me know in the comments below where you live, and let me know what the temperature is right now, because I want to send you some warm spring energy. This is kind of our trick spring that we have here in Atlanta right now. And we'll probably get some snow or ice before the true kind of springtime hits, but that's the way it is in Atlanta. By the way, also, if you are not following me or you are not a subscriber, I would appreciate it if you did hit that subscribe button and that notification bell here on YouTube. That helps my channel so, so much. And as you guys know, I am getting closer and closer to 100,000 subscribers. And I am so excited to hit that milestone with all of you. So here is kind of where you will see that I initially kind of started kind of tying these on to each one of the ends there. But what ended up happening is that they weren't super even. I probably should have like marked the thread or something to be able to kind of keep these a little bit longer. And then, my plan was to kind of trim down those little tails that I've got there and just kind of tuck them on the inside of the pot. But the knot was actually a little bit larger than I was anticipating. So I was kind of disappointed with that. Now, here is when I ended up kind of shortening those ropes and really kind of bringing those beads right to that first knot. So this is what it looks like when it's done. Still super, super cute. I would have liked it to be a little bit longer, but that's just the way it is. Now, with this DIY that kind of snuck up on us, this is actually going to be so, so easy. You're going to take 3 of these frames, and then if you've seen these craft sheets at Dollar Tree, run out and grab these because they are so, so cute, and they are 5 by 7 in size. So all you have to do is go through here and pick out some of your favorite characters. I love these 2 birds, thought that they were super, super cute, and in these white frames, they're going to be absolutely adorable. Now, there are 8 different characters. You do get 2 of each one. Can you imagine how adorable this could be in a nursery, for example? This is such a cute idea, and if you find any of these kind of booklets at your Dollar Tree in the Crafter Square section, definitely grab them. You're going to see how well they just pop in these frames. Now, they are a little thin, I will say that, so you'll want to keep that photo insert. Go ahead and put your photo in there, And then make sure you're using that white backing. That's going to help kind of make your owl or your critter or your creature look a little thicker. And as you see, this is just amazing. You could hang these on the wall. You could stand these up because they do have the stands on the back. Look how absolutely adorable these are. These are just in the craft room. I love it so, so much. Now, for this next DIY, we are going to take this basket that I picked up at, I believe I got this either at Walmart or possibly at Target. I believe it's a Walmart find in their kind of dollar spot section. Love the basket. It's definitely a little, kind of Eastery, and I'm kind of moving past some of that. And I want something that's kind of got a little bit of a boho vibe. So I saw this ribbon at Dollar Tree, and I really, really liked it. And I liked that it's got the blacks and the browns. It kind of goes with the gold, and then it's going to go with these beads. Now, I didn't know exactly how many beads I would need, but I ended up only using one package, and then I still had a couple of beads left over. So look for those thicker beads. You can find them in the Crafter Square section. You can also find them in the hair section sometimes in your store. So with this ribbon, you're just going to find a ribbon that you like that is going to kind of fit within this basket weaving. And then you're literally just going to go through and very, very easily just kind of weave this around. And then when you do get to your point that is kind of at the end, you will trim that down. We can do that with a pair of scissors just very, very easily. And then I'm just going to make sure that that edge is nice and straight. We're going to add a little bit of hot glue. Just a little dot there is really all you're going to need. And then you're going to also trim off that other ribbon the same exact way, because we are going to also glue that down. And if you make sure that when you're doing this kind of all on the same side, then that seam that it's going to create will kind of stay on that one side. And now you're just going to go through and totally repeat this. So go ahead and just repeat this, weaving through once again. And I did speed up the footage here, by the way, just so you know. But yeah, it's pretty easy. And I wish that I would have grabbed a couple of these little kind of ceramic baskets, because they're super, super cute. And not only are they great for Easter, I actually use this in a lot of my Easter decor around the house. But as you see, you can very easily turn it into something that looks totally different. And this is going to have a really cool kind of boho vibe. And for my home, I'm kind of in that mid-century modern, with just a dab of like some industrial. So my style is definitely a little eclectic, and I do have some white in my home. So I wanted to kind of bring some of these colors in with some accents and some different colors. And I'm also very honestly getting ready to redo the craft room. Very excited about that adventure that's coming up. And this is going to go with the new craft room kind of color theme that I'm going to be going with. So you'll probably see this in a future, in a backdrop of my craft room. But that's unfortunately still several months away. So go ahead and get all of those, kind of get rid of any of the excess glue that you might have. How cute is that? It already looks so, so different, but we're going to put that aside because now we've got to handle this handle. And we're also going to use these beads. Now, again, I did end up just using one package of these. I grabbed two just in case. And with this, you're going to kind of straighten out one of these ends. I will caution you, though, do not bend this back and forth a whole lot, because it will break. It will snap on you. And that obviously is not what you need for a handle. Now, these holes have a pretty good sized hole, and I do think that a regular standard bead would work perfectly fine with this if you were to be able to find this, or really any kind of basket, any kind of bucket that you want to do this with. The only thing I will tell you is you do not want to completely fill this up all the way, because the way that handle is, if it doesn't have some of the bead spacing, then it's not going to allow the bead to actually and the handle to close down. So you see what I mean right here. So, so cute. Absolutely love this. Love the way that that little basket has totally transformed. This is a faux plant. This is not the right size, but it gives you an idea of how it will look. Love it. Now this next one I also love. This is a Dollar Tree little garden bowl. They have these, it seems like, with every single holiday. this is a little carrot bowl, I should say. But I'm turning it into a garden bowl because I grabbed these butterfly kind of rub-on transfers from Dollar Tree, and then obviously I took my bowl outside. Now, the rub-on transfers that I'm putting on right now that you see me kind of cutting off, they do have the plastic still on them, and I'm leaving the plastic on them for now because they're just a little easier to handle, and rather than cutting them like without the backing on there, they just kind of help kind of keep it a little sturdier, if that makes any sense. And then you can place everything, and then you can go through with a pen or a marker and kind of remove the transfers. And that's what I did here. Absolutely love this. Now, this next DIY, this one's really, really cool. Take one of these cross wreath forms, and then you're going to take some of these boxwood stems. Now, I didn't find enough boxwood stems at Dollar Tree, so I did purchase some on Amazon. They're in my Amazon storefront. They're also in my Walmart storefront, so you can check those both out below. I am going to take these, and we're just kind of placing them into the wreath form. And as you can see, it already starts to really fill up and just be beautiful. Now, I'm not really worrying about right now anyway, kind of major fluffing these up. We're just kind of sticking them in here because I want to see how many of these boxwood stems I will really need. I think I ended up using about 8 of them in total. So if you do want to kind of recreate your own version of this, then by all means, make sure you grab at least 8. If I could find 8 of those boxwood stems that have the ferns and stuff, that would have been my preference for this. I just think it gives the boxwoods pieces just a little more life. But as you can see, I'm just kind of putting them in there right now just to get a general idea, once again, of placement and how these are all going to look once they're all kind of in there. And then I'm going to figure out the best way to kind of connect all of these to that wreath form. And what I ended up doing was kind of taking them all off. And then I did use kind of a combo of a little bit of hot glue and then also some twine. Now, I had this twine that I picked up from Dollar Tree. It is awful. It is very, very thin. It breaks very, very easily, but it ultimately did kind of end up doing the job. And so as you kind of add your stems in, then you will kind of tie off wherever you need to tie off to kind of keep everything secure. I did tie some nice long pieces, that way I could kind of reuse some of this. And you may even have to kind of filter some of the stems through the actual boxwood itself to keep these on the actual wreath form. Now for the bottom, the stem is going to hang off, and you don't want that because you want this to look like a full boxwood cross. So I added some extra twine at the bottom. That way I had something to kind of glue some pieces on, and then we're going to go through and just kind of do that, what you see there. Add another stem in there and make sure that it's got lots and lots of glue kind of sticking. And then at the bottom piece of it, don't even worry about that because you're going to be able to cut that off. And then with any of these little random pieces of boxwood that kind of fell off your stems, you'll use those to kind of plug in at the very end of there, at the very bottom. I apologize that that footage is not super, super clear, but hopefully you kind of understand what I'm doing here. And then when you do see it on the wall, it's going to make a lot of sense. So again, I'm just kind of tucking in these boxwood pieces and just kind of gluing them and tying them off until I can kind of get the bottom of that cross completely covered, and you're not going to see any twine. Now you can add ribbon to this, you could add florals to this. I really, really love the way that this turned out.